You ladies look beautiful tonight.
Thanks. You look
Nice.
beautiful too, Drew.
Yes, I could tend to agree with you. I could tend to.
I can tend to agree with you.
Yes, absolutely.
I can't
Let's
even.
see. We have one. Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. Oh, I can't see who's in here. Amber Goings, good to see you in here. I love you. Let's see here. Lisa Odell, good to see you as well. Everybody's filing in here. What is all that? Is that
No.
What's what?
Hey, I hear voices. I don't know what that is.
Oh, let me. Hold on. I'll be right back.
Jason Campbell, what's going on, brother? Ellen Childers, what's going on? How you doing? Good to see you in here as well tonight. Jennifer Wessel, good evening. Two Sober Chicks 100. Hey.
Sorry.
Two Sober Chicks. Is that? How do I know that? Two Sober Chicks. Do I know that?
Two sober chicks.
Isn't that Cassie?
Cassie
Maybe
Caldwell.
No, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Sarah Lee Lundwig, good to see you in here as well. Leon Slayball, good evening. Good evening. What's going on, everybody? While we're waiting for everybody to file in here, do me a favor. Let's get this out there. As you can see, I have these two beautiful ladies with me tonight. Joseph is not with us tonight because of getting ill suddenly, so he had to exclude himself from this video. He apologizes. He's at home getting rest, getting better. And so, Joseph, if you're watching, brother, we love you. We hope you get better soon. Christy Johnson, good evening. Ricky Lyles, what's going on, brother? Anthony Boyd, hello. Good to see you in here as well. Christine Price, Sean Clay, Brenda King. Good evening, everybody. I love all your beautiful people. I mean, tonight is a Q&A. I don't usually, but here lately I've been bringing up some of my team members to help me with this Q&A. As you guys know, that the feed goes by very quickly. We're going to do our best to answer as many questions as we possibly can in an orderly, maybe not orderly fashion. But we're going to do our best to handle these questions as best as we possibly can. Do remember, please, none of the three people that you're staring at right now are doctors, psychiatrists, therapists. We will not answer medical questions. I'm not sure why anybody would want to ask any three of us a medical question anyways, but I'm just saying we're not going to answer any kind of medical questions. I would not feel comfortable with any one of my team members trying to answer a medical question of any sort. So, you ladies want to say hello?
Hi, guys. Love you all.
How's everybody doing? I see a lot of love going up for Joseph. Get well, right?
That's right.
That's right.
We love our brother Joseph. We hope he gets well soon. And so tonight is the day that we set aside for each and every one of you. You guys might have questions with your recovery and or your life. And so we are on here to help you along your way, to support you, to encourage you. And most definitely, when you come over here on my page, you're going to get a lot of love. That's what my recovery and this page is built on a foundation of absolute, genuine love. Let's see here. So the floor is yours, guys. Who has a question for us tonight? You can ask us questions about your recovery, your life, the dream team, whatever you want to ask. You guys, the floor is yours. This is so needed.
I only see some comments.
You guys look for questions right alongside me. Jacqueline.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Elaine Weaver. Good to see you, Elaine. I love you, sis.
Love you, Elaine.
Bryce Zilmer, what's going on, brother? Angel Hale, how you doing? Looking for questions. What is this big? Let me see something. Let's see something.
Hi, Debbie.
Got the coffee mug designed. Derek.
We love you, Derek.
We do. We love Derek. Derek
most definitely love that man.
What happened to the past Dream Team folks that weren't around?
What?
Amanda, they've all taken different paths. As we all know, life is all about journeys, and all of our journeys aren't the same. And so they've all taken different paths. I'm still in touch with the majority of them, and try to maintain a healthy relationship with them, even though they're not part of this team anymore. Are we talking steps? Any questions? If you want to talk about steps,
James
we can talk about steps.
Gunthree asked a question. I just hold it down and put it up there, right?
Yeah. Where's James? Oh, there it is. Is this James? Yes. There's my brother, James Gunthree. I love you, brother. And James Gunthree asks, how do we maintain recovery? Question for the newcomer. How do we maintain recovery? Question for the newcomer. Catherine, how do we maintain recovery?
So me personally, how I maintain recovery is I stay involved with the 12-step program that I'm a part of. I reach out in a need that I feel like something's going on and I can't make it anymore, or I have those crazy thoughts of my disease getting in my head and telling me I'm not worth it, or I can't do this, or whatever the case may be. When I was a newcomer, I at first, of course, didn't want to trust and reach out, but I just slowly started talking to people and becoming involved, got involved with service, and then I started helping with, conventions, Narcotics Anonymous, and I just continued to grow from there. But getting involved is very important.
Absolutely. Hey, Tori, you want to chime in on this at all? How have you maintained your recovery, Tori?
I've maintained mine so far by just staying open-minded. Just I take anything from anywhere and use it to however it benefits me. I stay consistent. I listen more than I talk. And that wasn't a jab at you, Drew. I was just saying, like, and I'll never forget, the person I was 2 years ago, and if that's not enough to make you just keep going, I don't know what is.
Absolutely. And I'll chime in with my answer for it. Hey, James, brother, you know how transparent I am with you. We've had many conversations over the phone and private conversations. Tori said the word that how anybody and everybody should maintain their recovery, especially in early recovery, and that's the word consistency. Okay, we have to stay consistent, and we all know that everybody's path to recovery is different. Whatever path you choose and it's working for you, great, amazing, keep going. But you have to stay consistent. You can't part-time this. We're not in this part-time. We got to be full board ahead, full-time every day, each and every day we wake up. Stay consistent, stay full-time, stay grinding, and with the program that you've chose to work. Consistency is how recovery is maintained each and every day of your life.
Absolutely.
You see anything else?
My comments kind of stopped, so I
Okay,
can't.
well, I'll pin them here.
Kristen Johnson.
What, meditation?
Yeah. You do a lot of meditating, don't you?
Yes, I do. I do. Yes, I do.
Yeah, that's why I said that.
Meditation is in layman's terms, is we all need a little bit of shut the heck up. Okay, just sit there with ourselves. I've sent people the meditation program that I use. If anybody wants to know what that program is, all you need to do is message me on my public figure page, and I will send you 2 or 3 meditation programs that work for me, that I've chosen. I've shopped around and used many different types of meditation programs, and until I finally found the one that was working for me. And I use 2 that I strongly suggest to anybody who reaches out to me and asks me about meditation. It's a good thing that you're asking. I think meditation is a huge part of a successful recovery. It's the first thing. It's how I get my day started. It's how I get that serenity that I need to carry with me throughout my day. Because if we all know how important the serenity is for each and every one of our programs. If I'm anxious, there's a very good chance that I'm going to screw up and make the wrong choice or wrong decision. And so I like to calm my soul first thing in the morning, say my prayers to my God, do my meditation, and get my day started. If you want to know the programs that I work, please message me, and I would be happy to let you guys know.
Absolutely.
Let's see here. Anything else?
Hey, Matt Griffin.
Let's see here. Oh, that's not it. These comments are moving by quick.
No.
I would like to do service work. Leon says, how would like to do service work? How do I go about that? I would love to know you guys think. I'll answer this one because you guys know how big of a service work person I am. Every Friday of my life since I have gotten clean, I have done service work. I am a huge supporter of service work, not only because it's part of the program that I work in my life, it is recommended it's recommended in the program that I work as well. Service work, you'd be surprised how much and how many areas in your own communities need volunteers, need people. As I'm talking, you could be at your local halfway house, your local soup kitchen, your local church, and you know what? Service work doesn't have to specifically be a business. You can do service work by going across and helping the old lady who lives across your street, rake her leaves, shovel her snow this time of year. There's a vast range of ways that we can all give back selflessly and not expecting anything in return. You guys want to chime in on the service work? Do you do service work, Catherine?
Yeah, I do. I've done a lot of conventions. I started out doing hospitality in a convention, and slowly progressed to volunteering at it's called like, it's not really a retirement home because they're not, like, where they're not enabled to do anything. They have their own apartments. Helping clean. That was like beginning of my thing. And also a lot of the old timers in the program would tell me, you have to be willing to do anything. So it's like ashtrays outside, anything, picking up the grounds, anything you want to do just to give back.
That's right. Tori, you want anything you want to talk about service work at all? I don't know
Well, yeah, it could literally be anything. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry if I made you all dizzy there. Anyway, yeah, just anything that's gonna, help somebody else or give back in any way,
Amen.
it makes you feel good about yourself. You feel good about yourself, you feel a little bit of accomplishment. And that's always good. You don't,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We got a really big one. I don't think these really big questions will pin. I don't think they'll pin in the comment section though.
Oh,
bye, Tori. Bye, Tori.
Bye, Tori.
See y'all.
Okay, hi guys. Jen Belford just asks, hi guys. So since I became sober, I already knew the emotions and things I wanted to forget. The reason numbing myself and things that took place during my active addiction is seriously haunting me now. I have severe PTSD. Go to counseling and do all that I'm needing to do, but I feel like I'm alone because none of my doctors, counselors, or even friends and family don't know about what we go through in our minds after active addiction. They look at me like I'm crazy. I can't read the sentence. It says, have you guys experienced
this? Yeah.
Catherine, do you want to hit on this one?
As in people judging me? I mean, is that basically, or not being able to reach out and talk to them?
Well, I think she's saying she feels alone because she can't find that connection with somebody because the people that she does, like her counselors and her doctors, have never been through how we addicts think.
I mean, I would still keep trying. I don't know if you work a 12-step program, but in the 12-step program that I worked, I continued reaching out to people and learning other people's personality and learning what other people have went through. And it was able to, as I learned what about other people, I was able to connect with other people more. I mean, addicts, we all struggle for the same disease, when we all want the same purpose. And so with that said, if you work a 12-step program, I would suggest you to continue to reach out.
Absolutely. Yeah, I can say, I believe in my heart and soul that each and every one of us addicts who are in recovery, we have to be able to establish a connection for people who have actually been through the things that we have been through. I understand that you're going to counseling and you have doctors that are in part of your life. Those parts are probably a necessity for you and your program. I get that, but that the connection that you're looking for, you're going to find in the rooms. Okay, you're going to find it in those meetings, whether it's AA, NA, CR, whatever program you choose to work. That's the connection that you're going to find. Like-minded people with like-minded goals. Okay, you a lot of doctors don't know the gravity of what it is that they're prescribing and the ways that they're changing people's lives. It's people like me and people who do the things that I do who create awareness to doctors about what it is that they're doing, because we all know that the prescription drugs are a huge part of the opiate epidemic that we face in this country today. And so getting away from the doctors and counselors, now we're trying to get to that part where you need answered the most, and that's that connection that you're missing in your life. You will find that connection with people who have been through what you've been through, those like-minded peoples, like I said a minute ago, and you'll find those people in the rooms.
And see, I think that kind of goes back. Was it James Guthrie?
Mm-hmm.
How do you keep your recovery going? Connection.
Mm-hmm.
Connection is huge in it, Absolutely.
That's right. I agree. I'll agree wholeheartedly. Let's see here. I'm probably going to scroll back. You may find qualified psychiatrist in a. Let's see. Have you seen anything? I'm scrolling back.
I'm scrolling back too.
My question is 3 miles long.
Mm-hmm.
Here's one says, how can all right, Kim Thorpe asks, how can you guide, move, or help a loved one towards recovery? Ladies?
Action, I feel. If they see a lot, okay, you can't just speak recovery to somebody. You can't just say, look, I'm in recovery and I'm doing this. And it's so they have to see it. Like they have to see a change inside you. They have to see everything that the words that you're saying that you're putting into action. I know for a long time that if I would have went to my family and been like, I'm doing it this time. Look, I'm clean. They would have still been like, no, you're not. You're still the same person, But it was action. It took work. It took me planting the seed that I was in recovery and just keep moving forward and showing. And they'll either eventually pick up what you're saying and look at it in that way, or they're going to stay the same. But it's all about action. You have to show that action of what you're speaking.
Okay. And if you're not an addict yourself, Kim, from one of the normie points or whatever size, you just have to love them where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
You can't talk about all the stuff, that they're going to lose or, because of their addictions. You just have to love them where they're at and be sure not to enable them.
Actually, absolutely is what I meant to say. Absolutely, Tori, and good point too, Catherine. But you know what? Sometimes people need more than just they need more than just a motivational speech. They need to like Catherine just hit on. You need to be a motivational speech. Okay. And
Right.
what I mean by being a motivational speech, I mean, but that's by actions applied, your actions, and this is where I get a lot of people who reach out to me throughout the week, moms, dads, loved ones, people whose children, whose nieces and grandmas, whoever may be struggling, the loved ones reach out to Drew more often than actively using addicts. Okay. And every one of them have almost the same exact question. How can I save my child? How can I save my loved one? We have to understand, realistically, none of us have the power to save anybody. The only person that we have the power to save is ourselves. And that lightning bolt of action is only found within each and every one of ourselves. The only thing that we do have the ability in doing is planting a seed. And you not just plant the seed, we have to water that seed too for them, because they're not going to do it for themselves. I remember being very sick for very, very long time. My mom and my father, my sisters and brothers continuously planted the seed to recovery, kept talking about it, and they kept watering it. My mom was the best waterer in the world. She watered that seed almost every other day, until eventually it started to sprout. It eventually started to sink in. It started to, and I started to look at my life and look at the damage that I'd caused in my life. And it just, enough was enough. And I finally made that bold and courageous step that each and every one of us have to do coming into recovery. But you know what? The only ability, your only ability, and realistically, that you can do is plant a seed. Okay. And you got to be careful how you plant it. It can't be planted with criticism and judgment. Okay, it's got to be planted with an absolute, genuine, and honest love. Because and let them know that, hey, I just want to see you live a life of happiness and joy. I don't want to see you struggle anymore. You're not gonna plant this seed and say, you need to go to treatment and you need to do this. You start making demands, you'll see how quickly an addict will turn and run. So that's my suggestion on that. Kim, good question.
Absolutely.
Let's see, did I miss any? I see sometimes. Have you seen anything, Catherine?
No, I'm scrolling back right now.
Richie Berg, I'm going to pin that because that's absolutely truth. Make the program attractive, the most powerful message for a using addict. I love that man right there, Richie Berg. He just comes out of left field with some beautiful stuff all the time. Richie Berg, I love you, brother. Make it look attractive. Absolutely. Angel Brian, are you on here? I love you.
Yeah,
good to see you on
she's
here.
on here.
Speechless people tonight. I don't see too many questions.
Scrolling back.
Questions. Do you feel? Here's one. Let's see that one. Anne Marie Lorenz asks, do you feel that a sponsor should have the same addiction? I feel like alcoholics, especially old timers, look down on drug addicts. Wow, that's a good question. I mean, I've had many run-ins when it comes to this. But Catherine, how do you feel?
So, like, to answer the beginning of your question, no, I absolutely do not feel that your sponsor has to have the same addiction as you. I feel that when you're looking for a sponsor, you look at the person that has something you want. Some people, when they first come in the room, they just see this person that's just like got everything positive going for them, and they start listening, and then they just see that that's the type of person they want to be, or the spiritual principles, or the glow, or whatever they're reading about themselves that they want, and so they want that person to teach them. On the second part, that is very true when it tends to coming to when I went to another 12-step fellowship. I tend to see that they really frowned upon the fact that I was an addict. They especially would say, you can't say that in this meeting. You can't act that way in this meeting, because the fact that that was their guidelines or whatever they felt. But I just didn't let it stop me. I just kept pursuing forward. And, I became a member of Narcotics Anonymous, and I felt right at home, loved and supported. And so that's the program I've stayed with.
Tori, do you want to chime in? Or you want me to go ahead?
It doesn't matter to me.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
I don't believe either that really it matters. I think addiction is addiction, like people always ask, what's your drug of choice? Well, for me, it didn't make a difference, so if I myself just could tell it doesn't make a difference to myself, even what the drug is. It's and the reasonings you're getting high in the first place, not really a substance you're using, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm gonna chime in here and give my best advice to you, Anne. There's kind of two questions here. Do I feel a sponsor should have the same addiction? No, I don't feel that at all. My sponsor Victor and he don't mind transparent like me, and he's a cocaine addict. Okay. I dipped and dapped in cocaine for many years, but you know what? At the end there, I was more of a meth, heroin, cocaine altogether addict. I don't think that the drug truly matters. Like Tori's hit the nail on the head when she said, addiction is addiction. Whether that be with drugs, whether that be with gambling, or whether that be with sex, whether that be with codependency, whether that there's a lot of ways. Addiction is addiction, and I think when it comes to anybody who's making that step into recovery, who begin a relationship with a sponsee relationship, I think if you find that connection with the person on how they share their life experiences, where this disease took them, you gain that trust, and then you build from there. The drug doesn't matter. I don't believe the drug matters, but when it comes to the latter part of your question, yeah, there's a lot of old schools, and we're not on here to bash any other fellowship.
Absolutely.
Okay, We are here to support all paths to recovery, whether it's AA, NA, CR, Smart Recovery, whatever it is, MAT. We will support you no matter what program you choose to work. Is it unfortunate? Yes, it does happen. There's a lot of, but you know what? I think I like this. Wait, I have to know that I'm a drug addict. Okay, this is my own opinion. Okay, I'm a drug addict through and through. You guys know that. I know that if I walk my happy ass into an AA meeting, I have to respect the alcoholics who are in that meeting because they speak from an
Really?
alcoholic perspective. Okay, and you know what? They may not be the ones who shot dope in their neck and their arms for 25 years. They're the ones who drank themselves to death. I got to respect. I don't have that in common with them. I have to respect that the fellowship that they work. And you know what? And I have to, if they don't want me to share, then I'm not going to get butthurt about it. Okay, I'm in here to I'll just sit there happily. We don't fire back at people. Okay, and there could be a lot of judgment when it comes to people in recovery, and I see it all the time. Addicts and alcoholics in recovery judging addicts and alcoholics in recovery. Does it make sense?
Sad.
Absolutely does not make any sense at all to me. It does not make any sense. We fight a stigma already from the outside world, the so-called normies who say that we're just a bunch of junkies and lost causes. We don't need that from amongst ourselves, and it doesn't make any sense in my mind how I can even comprehend the fact that that addict who is sleeping under a bridge banging dope wants to judge that other addict because they were sleeping in their car banging dope. That doesn't even make sense to me. Just because you get better doesn't mean you forget where you came from. My opinion only. I believe that recovery is a foundation of love and support, regardless of the path that you choose to take.
Right. And I think it's changed. Just maybe I was just out there high a lot and I never noticed before. But it seems like now, you know, um, um, it's growing. It's getting bigger and bigger. It's like um,
Mhm.
you said the normies, not even all the normies are saying, good, they should be dying under the bridge with the
No,
new.
not all of them. No,
You
not at
know,
all.
like we're getting a lot of support now from each other, and that goes back to Catherine's connection. It's just good people. You got to just be good people, and I'm telling you, it comes from God, and I think God's talking to a lot of our hearts, and He's telling us to talk to each other.
Absolutely, I agree. I agree.
That's
Catherine, this question is for you.
What are your Tess, what are your thoughts on mental health and addiction? And then the second part is to you, I guess. My thought, okay, I myself struggle with depression and anxiety. And so I know that when I was out there and I was doing my thing or whatever, that was extremely my anxiety was off the hook. Like I was literally always anxious. I still think I'm extremely anxious today. But are you I'm not sure, she's asking like is there a balance between the two? Is there a way to manage the two? I mean, I'm not exactly. I
Elizabeth,
mean,
I'm
I
gonna go ahead and
go ahead.
chime in here.
Yeah.
I think when it comes to mental illness and substance abuse disorder, or I think they coexist. They go hand in hand. I think a lot of people tend to focus more on their substance abuse disorder than they do their mental health because they believe that the drugs were the problem. As I've told many of you on previous videos, the drugs were never our problem. We were the problem, and there's a lot more to us than what we truly realize. And mental health is a huge part of your recovery. They have to your recovery and your mental health have to be on the same page, or you have to be still working. You have to be working them both the same, with the same amount of effort. We can't be slacking on our mental health and work on our recovery. And, because that mental health will keep you sick. Will keep you sick, So we gotta, there's a fine line. A lot of us tend to ignore our mental health, which is absolutely terrifying and dangerous. If you find it, that's why there's therapists. I highly suggest anybody who thinks that they may need therapy in recovery, then they go get it. Because I did in my early recovery for the first 6-7 months. I sought therapy and it worked for me. Does it work for everybody? Maybe not. It worked for me. Not only was I doing therapy, I was doing the 12 steps. I had an intimate relationship with God, and all those things. An amazing sponsor. I had all these chess pieces on the board, strategically placed by God in all the right areas of my life. You know, we have to figure out, guys, recovery is a discovery, and we have to discover what works well for each and every one of us. We're all different, and not everything that works for Catherine or Tori is going to work for Drew. And so you have to figure out what works right, what works well, what makes your life better.
She added something. She said, dealing with
Okay.
both 81 days clean as a woman, how do you deal with recovery? I continue to show up, right? I continue to put my best foot forward and continue to work on myself. You know, like I said, I had anxiety problems when I first came in, and, you know, Drew said it perfectly. Like, I sought counseling. I went through I did drug court too. So I got a lot of, personal issues out on reasons why I did what I did. And I also had a personal therapist. I at first I know a lot of people know that I did an MAT program because I couldn't handle just doing it alone. So I got counseling in that area too. I'm not sure what your struggles are with the mental health, but you know, you can always message me and I'm willing to talk to you on a more personal level.
Yes, she is, and so is Tori.
Absolutely.
Tori's the she's the one who loves to talk behind the scenes. That's what I love about Tori. I mean, she's talking to a million people a day.
I don't know about a million.
Well, 999,999. Okay.
Right.
So proud of Catherine. So proud of you, Catherine. Christy says.
Thank you.
Train's gone underground. Am I missing any questions here? I'm gonna scroll back.
I seen one, but I don't know where it went now. Hold on.
Let's see. This is a good question. A lot of people. This Amanda Carmody. This is a very good question because a lot of people coming into recovery. You know, we were very malnourished. What's that word I'm looking for?
Nourished.
Nourished. I couldn't say the word. Malnourished coming into recovery. You know, we didn't have all the weight, and a lot of people gain weight very quickly when it comes to the early recovery because you know what? We start putting food back in our bodies. You know, we're not going without eating for 3 and 4 and 5 days in a row. Being that Amanda is a woman, do you ladies want to talk about the weight gain? Because I know how some women can be insecure about weight gain when it comes to their appearances, and I understand that. So, Catherine?
When I first started getting clean, like I started gaining a lot of weight, and I started, you know, getting the insecurities about my weight, and so I decided to do something different. Right? When we first get into recovery and we don't have all the avenues in life to do, we tend to just eat. Right? We eat our feelings. We eat for boredom. We eat for whatever the case may be. And so when I found myself doing that stuff, I tried to keep myself busy. I tried to do something different. I would go for a walk, or I would, you know, give someone a phone call. I would do whatever it took to try to take my mind off of the fact that I was bored or I was emotionally going through something, or, you know, or just in life. I would try to take my mind away from it. And then I started working out to where I could start feeling better about myself, because I blew up to like almost 160 pounds, you know, and for being 5'5", that's kind of big for me, right? So I decided to just do something different, and I stopped grabbing the fork and I started grabbing something else. But just know that regardless, you're a beautiful person.
Absolutely. I mean, insecurities are a huge part to anybody's life, not just addicts and alcoholics in recovery. I think as human beings, we're all trying to tweak ourselves here, tweak ourselves out, trying to do the best that we possibly can with what God has given each and every one of us. But it's insecurities is a hard part of life, you know. And getting around them and being comfortable with people. I'm just happy you're in recovery and you're alive. So what if you gain a few pounds, man? You're still breathing today, right? You're still around your family. You have a chance to build yourself into this amazing person with a few extra pounds. Who cares? Who cares? You know, we love you. Just love yourself. That's all that matters. If you love who you are, then you love who you are, regardless of the way that you look. You know, I remember though being very, very shallow individual. you know, in my active addiction. I'll be honest, you know, and what recovery has taught me is that people who genuinely love themselves for who they are the most beautiful people in the world, you know. And I know, and I've learned to respect that, and I appreciate seeing that when it comes to people who are just figuring out who they are and learning to fall in love with themselves and moving forward in life regardless of the few extra pounds they may or may not have gained. Let's see this
Do you want to say something, Tori?
Oh no, not about that. Like my thing is, you know, I actually started eating healthier, but I still packed on some pounds, you know, but I think it's kind of about how you feel. And I don't mean like, you know, oh,
Sorry, my
like,
dog.
oh, I feel confident, but as far as like health wise, you know, like I'll be 50 this year. And you know,
And you
some
look beautiful for 50, Tori.
Amazing for 50.
like my knees now. Oh, I could feel it.
Oh yeah.
20 pounds ago, I didn't feel it like this, you know? So, I mean, it's not really about, for me, about how I look, but it's about how I feel and how it makes me feel. So, you
Right.
know, I started drinking water and just, you know, cutting out some bread, just little things, you know, trying to stay away from the candy and ice cream, right?
That's right.
Absolutely.
You know what? I actually enjoy. People don't believe me, but everybody's metabolism is different. Okay, I have a very high metabolism. I could sit here and eat consistently for the next 6 weeks and maybe gain a pound. Okay, I
Lucky.
went through. My body went through. I know. Well, whatever. My body went through. But I'm gonna be honest. When I came into recovery, I weighed 113 pounds. Okay, 6'1". Okay, so I was literally a dead man walking. All you seen was bones. So I weigh about 100. I've stayed at a consistent 165, 170s for the last 2.5 years, and it doesn't matter what I eat or how much I eat, I just stay the same. It's metabolisms. We got to remember everybody's metabolism is different. So, but don't trip on the pounds that you're gaining, guys. Stay focused on what it is that you're doing in your life. You know, gaining and fixing and mending relationships that you never thought you could mend, being the parents that you never thought you could be. You know, getting the jobs that you never thought you could obtain, the life that you're living, a life of value and meaning. That's what's most important. So, screw it. A few pounds, who cares? You know. Anybody else? Did you? Okay, this question, Jacqueline. I have a pin. Did you guys find your higher power, whom I choose to call God, while in recovery or before?
Do you want me to start?
You can start. Go ahead, Catherine.
Well, I knew I choose to call God my higher power too, and it'll always be God. And I had a relationship with God when I was younger. You know, my parents would take me to church and all that stuff. But and on that note, it was more like a religion. Now coming into recovery and finding like my eyes were opened, I guess, more per se, and I was able to get a connection with my higher power, and it became no longer as a religion; it became a fact of that I have a relationship, and
Right.
So yeah, I did have God a part of my life. You know, I turned my back on God, but I did have him a part of my life as a child and into adulthood.
Ricky Lyles. I had to throw that in and pin
So
that at the top.
funny.
You can't.
Oh,
20.
Ricky.
Oh my gosh.
I'll answer that question as well. I was raised in a church, so I was raised to know God from a very young age. Um, I did not have a relationship with God probably from the age of 16 up until the age of 42. Okay, that's the time of my active addiction. Uh, do you have to know God to choose Him as your higher power when you come into recovery? No, you know, and everybody can choose who they want to be as their higher power. It does not have to be God. And everybody, I know many people in recovery who've chosen, for example, Mother Nature as their higher power.
Yeah.
You know, everybody can choose who they want to be as their higher power. For me, it's God. It's none other than God. It's always been God. It's been God since a very young age. But that was a belief and a faith that was instilled in me at a very, like I said, a very young age. So depending on where you're at with it, I don't, you know, it doesn't matter if you knew God before or if you knew God afterwards. As long as you know God today, that's all that matters to me.
I say, you know, that it was actually kind of God that really gave me recovery.
Amen.
I never really thought it because before that day, for me, it was just about not doing drugs, you know.
Right.
And the day that I asked God to search my heart, that's when it became about being a better person than I was yesterday.
Right.
So,
Good answer. Good answer.
I don't
Let
know.
me see, Will. Good to see you. Let's see here. Anybody did I miss a question?
There has to be something else.
I don't know. The people aren't asking.
Please comment down.
You all need to start being a little bit more transparent. Okay? You guys have heard me do many videos. Start getting transparent. Get honest. You got a question? Come on out with it. We don't judge over here. Shit. What are you doing over there, Catherine? You reading?
I was reading someone's comment and I don't know why they said that, but it's okay. Sorry. If my mouth doesn't say it, my face says it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Is there a point in time when here's one when someone who's not
Sorry, I missed that. Could you say it again?
Siri's talking. They thought I said Siri. Is there a point in time when someone I guess Kim has another question. Let's see what she says. Is there a point in time when someone who is a not addict separate themselves from an addict who is in family?
Go ahead, Drew.
Okay. Is there a point in time when someone who is not an addict separates themselves from an addict who is in Absolutely. Absolutely, yes. There is a point, you know. As much as my mother and father loved me and my siblings loved me, there was a time, and I'm gonna be honest, I forced their hand. Okay. I had caused enough damage and enough hell in their lives where they finally said, enough is enough. I'm drawing the line in the sand. If it's crossed again, then I will kindly dismiss myself from your life. And they did. They did. You know, and it was really easy for my father because my dad was raised old school. Okay. He didn't tolerate that kind of behavior. And it was either my dad's way or it was the highway. You know, he wasn't going to allow me to destroy other lives in my family. And so my father pretty much told me, you know, until you get your life together, you're not going to be part of this family. You know, it was harder for my mother and my sister and my brothers to let go, but eventually I forced their hand as well. Okay, because I was trying to bring them down with me. I'm the only addict in the family, but I'm a manipulator and I'm a deceiver, and I wanted to manipulate and deceive them out of money or out of this or out of that. And eventually, they all of it came to light, and they just had enough. They just had enough, and they just distanced themselves from me until I made a choice on what I wanted to do with my life. It took me 25 years. I'm a slow learner, but I did it.
Absolutely. Someone just said they asked a question, but I'm trying to find it. Sorry.
Okay. Is this a question here? I need help as to know what to do about being able to get along with my daughter. We are still having problems. Relationships, you know, when it comes to our children, are rough. Okay, because and I think you guys know how close I am with my daughters, you know, and trying to implement my sons back in my life, you know, and stuff that I'm going through there. What I didn't realize in my active addiction is that I have to validate my children's feelings, whether that be they want to cuss me out. You know, I like my sponsor. Thank God for Victor. Told me when I got him, you know, and I was telling him I want Chloe and I want Peyton, I want my children back in my life. He's like, well, let me tell you something. Most important thing you can do is validate their opinion on what your disease did to their life. Okay, and there could be very well. He told me this was a cold shot to me. There might be this. It might play out where they never want to talk to you again. Okay. Yeah. And that's a tough pill to swallow as a parent. We don't ever want to think that our children never want anything to do with us ever again. But you know what? If that's what they want, then that's what they want. We have to accept that's a big word there. We have to accept it and move on. Most importantly, in our life, in our recovery, staying consistent with our recovery very well might change their opinions or their perspective, but then again, I can't promise you that it will. But you have to validate where your kids are at, because you know what? It doesn't just affect our life; it destroys their life as well.
Absolutely.
And they have a right to feel the way the way they feel, and that's exactly how I handled Chloe. Peyton was very young,
Mhm.
and so I just let Chloe, and I'll be honest, that little 10-year-old girl said some things to me that, man, it crushed me. But I had to sit there and take it, because you know what? That is how she felt.
Absolutely. And I mean, a lot of people know that I had both my daughters adopted when I went to prison and stuff like that. And so I had a 19-year-old that, well, she was almost 19 at the time, come back to me. And I, at the beginning, told her, I said, any question you ask me, I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going to tell you the truth, regardless if it upsets you, hurts your feelings, hurts me, hurts anyone. It's because I'm going to be brutally honest. And with me being brutally honest and telling her, the truth about everything, and just like Drew said, validating her feelings and allowing her to express herself, it allowed me and her to create a bond, a new relationship that it's been growing over the last year and a half. But it's like Drew said, you have to validate their feelings. You have to let them be able to express themselves, because if they don't express themselves, they keep it in, it's not going to change anything.
It's unhealthy for your children if we're forcing our kids not to express how they feel about what we did to their life. It's a tough pill to swallow, and to admit I played the part in the depression and the anxiety that my children are dealing with today. I played a part. I play a huge part of that. I have to accept it. I It sucks, but it's reality, and where they're at with it is where they're at with it. And I have to respect and validate where they are. And if, you know what, when you do that and you stay consistent with your recovery, your children are watching us. The only thing that our children have ever wanted from each and every one of us is our clean and sober presence. They wanted us to be in their life. They wanted us to be present, whether that be sitting on a couch with them, or whether that being going to some school function with them, or going to their sporting, whatever they're doing, their extracurricular activities. They just wanted us to be part of their life. Chloe's is voiced on numerous occasions that, Dad, the gifts and all, because when I came into early recovery, I threw a lot of gifts at her because I felt guilty. I felt guilty. I was guilty, and I was shameful for the things that I had done in my active addiction. So I showered her with gifts. And then it wasn't very long after that I was doing that, she said, Dad, the gifts are nice and all, but I just want you in my life. That's all I want. I just want to have you in my life, present, clean and sober, and so it's progress, not perfection. Sometimes it's really tough to swallow when it comes to our relationship with our children, and because they're the most important people in our life. And when we eliminate the drugs and alcohol and we start building ourselves into the people that we are today, we want them to run back to us and to believe us, and to not leave us. It's a tough one. It takes work. How do I help former friends? I'm gonna pin this one here. How do I help former friends who are still in active addiction without damaging my recovery? I want them to have the peace that I have found being in recovery. Eric, man, brother, I don't know where you're at in your recovery. I don't know how new you are. But that's a slippery slope, my friend. That's a very slippery slope. Because I promise you, an addict will drown you before you can save them. Okay, especially if you haven't been in recovery for very long, you haven't even begun to work on yourself. I remember coming into recovery, I had the same attitude as Eric here is saying, and I love your attitude, brother. I appreciate the fact that you want to help, but you're never going to be any good to any one of your friends unless you start being good to yourself first and foremost. You don't have the strength to save them right now. You need to focus on you, building you into the strongest version of yourself. Your friends, whether they choose to get on board with this thing called recovery or not, that is not yours to carry. That burden is not for you to carry. Be an example. Lead by example. Show them that this life is possible. Make it look attractive, like Richie Berg said earlier. Make this look so attractive that they just can't turn their head from looking at what you're doing in your life. Okay. And then, along your way, after you get the strength and you work the programming and you get some time under your belt, then, yeah, you could put yourself into situations that you shouldn't be putting yourself. I'm not saying going around when you're using. We don't go around people using, and just start planting those seeds, brother. You'll be surprised. They just very well may grow.
Absolutely.
You guys want to spin off on that one or not?
You pretty much answered it.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, be the example. Let them watch you. You gotta love them, but love them over there. You don't want to you don't want to put your recovery at jeopardy.
Absolutely.
And it's God, recovery, and family. And I'm not, I'm absolutely positive that another addict, especially one in active addiction, that they're under God, they're under your personal recovery and your family and friends that do care. Then there's them. So they're last on the list. You have to take care of yourself first.
Anne asked, my son is also an addict and I have a problem with boundaries with him. He'll throw up my addiction to me, and when he wants money, any advice? Yes, what I have learned when it comes to children, and even Chloe, and she's admitted it to me on time, kids will play off of you, okay? And they can be manipulators as well, whether they've struggled with this addiction or not. Kids, they will use what you've done to them as a way to get what they want. That's a cold, hard fact. My daughter has told me, yeah, there's been many times, Dad, I gave you kind of a guilt trip so I could get what I want. And she didn't even have to tell me that. I knew what she was doing. But, when it came to the guilt that I carried with me, when it came to how I was as her father, it's hard for me to ever say no to her. Okay. But you have to protect yourself. Okay. You said the word right there. Excuse me. The word boundaries. Boundaries. When we create boundaries, we don't create boundaries for people to cross and do nothing about. Boundaries are placed in our life so when somebody chooses to cross that boundary, whether it be our significant other, whether that be our children, then there's consequences. Consequences for anybody who crosses our boundaries, and we have to stick with them. We can't let up when it comes to boundaries, because the first time that we do and don't do nothing about it, it's game on for the person who's crossing those boundaries. Okay, because they will keep doing it time and time and time and time again.
And Anne Marie, I'd like to say too that if he's throwing up your addiction, if you're in active addiction now, then you need to change that. But if you're not in your active addiction now and you're in recovery and you're doing the right thing and you did the right thing today, he can talk about your prior old addiction all he wants. It doesn't matter, like
right.
God
You're right,
forgave,
Tori.
what
You're
you
not
do
that
today.
person anymore.
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now, this is like this, throw it in my face all you want. Even if Chloe was to walk, Chloe's not home right now. If she's walking this door in about 5 minutes, which she better, and say, Dad, this, and this, and that, you were this way. Yeah, I was, but I'm not that man today.
That's
You're not
right.
going to hold that over my head. The guilt that comes from what we carry into our early recovery, it's not a life sentence. We don't carry that with us the rest of our life. Okay. We have to learn how to get through it, deal with it, handle it, and move forward in our life. You can't keep throwing my past in my face and expecting me to say, oh, you're right. Here you go. Okay. No. That card played out long time ago. Okay. Maybe in early recovery, you might've got away with it, but I'm not that man today. And I've proven I've stayed consistent with this recovery for the last 4 years of my life, and I'm going to be staying consistent with it the rest of my life, God willing. And so you can't let people use your past as a tool of manipulation to get what it is that they want.
Absolutely.
You'll never know who's watching. I feel bad because I was. Any more
There's
questions?
someone at my door. Hold on. Sorry.
You have guests? Oh my goodness. Let's see here. Did I miss any? Let me see if I can go back and miss any. I don't want to miss any questions here. I probably missed a few. And if I have missed a few, guys, I will go back after the live and answer all the ones that I did miss. Exactly, kids. Any more questions, guys? Because I'm looking at my watch now, and it is almost 9 o'clock. I don't want to run into anybody else's time frame because a lot of my brothers and sisters out there in the world do live videos as well. And if I didn't get any more questions, I'm going to kind of end this one. Tori, do you have anything else you want to add?
No, I think I'm good. I just wish I could have seen some of the, questions or comments. I feel like I missed everything, but no, I'm good.
Tori, you didn't miss nothing. You're sitting there looking all pretty in your rocking
I
chair.
got my phone still, right?
Is that a
Like,
rocking chair? Are you in a rocking chair?
it's a glider, kind
Oh, a
of.
glider. Okay.
Those are my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have one. Those are my favorite.
I go ham on a glider. I'll break that thing in 2 hours. I feel
Just
like
going.
I'm going downhill skiing.
Oh my gosh.
Uh,
Angie Lewis says you're so helpful. Thanks. You're very welcome, Angie. Thank you for being here tonight. Hey, Catherine, do you have anything else you want to add before we end this one?
I just love you all very much. And you know that we're always here no matter what. Never hesitate to reach out to either one of us.
We're all here for each and every one of you guys. Tori, you want to say anything before we go?
oh, just, I just, uh, I'm just so grateful for everybody and everything. And yeah, we do love you guys so much. And it's all about the love here, right?
Right. It's all
Yeah.
about the love. That's what we have over here. In this, I appreciate you ladies for coming on here and jumping on here. And Joseph, I speak for the whole team when I say that we hope you get better, brother. We love you.
Absolutely.
Jill, we love you. And take care of him because God knows I don't know what he would do without you. So get better, brother. And then Catherine, Tori, I love you guys to death. I appreciate you coming on here and trying to answer these questions as best as you can. You guys are amazing, and I love you both dearly.
Love you
too.
too. Love your face.
I will talk to you ladies soon.
All right.
All right, guys. I appreciate you guys jumping in here and watching this Q&A with me, Catherine, and Tori. Joseph was supposed to be on here. Like I said, he's sick. And keep the prayers up for my brother, Joseph. And if anybody has any more questions that they think about after the video and you want to kind of ask me or you want to ask somebody who was on it, a specific question that you didn't want to put in the feed, I understand some questions are personal. People don't want to ask in front of a lot of people. I get that. You can message me right here on this page right now. Or you could text me or you can call me, or however you feel comfortable doing it. You do it the way you want to do it, and I'm here for each and every one of you guys. I love you all so very much. I appreciate you guys tuning in and spending a little bit of your evening with us. It's hump day. I've heard it a million times because my daughter Peyton is all she does. She just like knows when it's Wednesday. It's like all day long, hump day. I mean, I hate that camel. I hate that camel. Just saying. Just saying. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you guys for being here. Let me give a few shout outs and I will get out of you guys' way and let you guys enjoy the rest of your evening. Amanda Cruz, I love you. Thank you for being here. Hey, Amy Baldwin, thank you for being here as well. Elaine Weaver says, I absolutely love you, Drew Hicks. Well, I absolutely love you, Elaine Weaver, very much. Oh, announcement before I go. I will be speaking in Colorado on Saturday, 12 o'clock. I'll be in Colorado on Saturday. I fly out on Friday. I'll be going down to Colorado to Trinidad, Colorado. I'll be down there speaking. If you are in the Trinidad, Colorado area and would like to hear me speak up close and in person, message me and I will be happy to forward you the details, location, all that stuff, So I will be in Colorado coming up here in 2 days, 2.5 days. It came quick. I'm looking forward to it because it's snowing like crazy in Indiana right now. I hope when I fly down there, it's nice and somewhat warm. I'll take any amount of warmth that I can get right now. I promise you. Watching from small town USA, West Virginia. Absolutely. I love all the small town USA. I love all you guys. You guys, no matter where you guys are at, I love and support you where you're at. And, just not here in the United States, but from all around the world, people who follow me. I love you all very much. I appreciate you guys for being here. And, I hope you have a great rest of your evening. Do me a favor and let's get this video out there. The questions that you might have had tonight. A person still out there sick and suffering very well might have the same questions, concerns that you do. So do me a favor and let's get this video out. Somebody out there needs to hear a message of hope tonight. I appreciate you guys for tuning in tonight. I'll give a few more of these shout outs and I'll let you guys get on your way. Tracy Jones, I love you. Good night. Jonathan Fielding, England. Love all my European family. I love you. Thank you for being here tonight, Jonathan. Amber Goings, thank you for being here as well. I love you. Sylvia, Houston, Texas. I'll be flying in. I got a layover in Dallas on Friday. Sean Kalen, look at the time. She is 4 minutes late. You are 4 minutes late, young lady. Is it because of the snow?
Yeah,
I told you to be prepared for the snow, didn't I?
we left early too. It's because RJ was partying.
You gotta come over here and say hi now before I get off here. These people want to at least
We already
see.
have a charter line.
I know. Well, come on over here. I don't worry about your school delay right now. I'm live. What do you gotta bring him over here for? Harry has. Say hi to everybody.
Hi. No.
You want to say anything? I've expressing to everybody. I don't know if you guys seen the post, but I posted a picture of this wrinkled up thing that my daughter throws at me the other day and says, "Here you go, Daddy. I don't know if you want to see this. This is her honor roll. She made the honor roll again. The first two great
Quarters.
first two quarters, first two report cards. First one was high honors. This one was honor roll. I think she missed the high honors by
1B.
1B in science, right?
Yeah.
She got a B in science. She missed the high honors by one little fraction. But you know, I'm proud of her. You know, this is recovery. This is what recovery's given me. You know, and it's spilled over into her life. And you know what? She's amazing. You know, I can't speak highly enough for my kiddo. Proud of her. Anybody, you want to say anything to these people? They get tired of hearing me talk.
Everybody be careful. Everybody be careful because the snow.
They don't all live where it's
Oh
snowing.
yeah.
I got people who follow me from all around the world.
Well, if it's hot, you're lucky and at least your weather isn't bipolar like Indiana. So.
Bipolar, huh?
Yeah, Indiana's bipolar.
I love you.
Love you. Can you say bye?
Say bye, Giz. This is my family. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. Do me a favor, let's get this video out there, and I will see you guys all tomorrow. Thursday? Tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I love you all. I hope you have a good rest of your night. Enjoy your families. Enjoy your life. Go love some people. Wake up again tomorrow. Blessed to get another day clean and sober. I love you all. With all that being said, I love you. You already know. Clean and sober. That's what's up.